Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to the Crypt. I'm Gory G. It's almost the end of 2020, so let's ring in the new and possibly scarier 2021. This New Year's, you're invited to a killer party.
Tell me, will it be sweet New Year's Eve, or do I feel a New Year's Eve?
Every New Year's Eve, the caller came out. One terrifying night of unspeakable evil. New Year's Evil. Rated R.
Now playing at a theater or drive-in near you.
Made in 1980, during the golden age of the slasher film, it is more than just an entry into the holiday-themed horror craze. It is an inventive twist on the serial killer film. New Year's Evil was directed by Emmett Alston, who started out as a cinematographer with the film Moonchild, a metaphysical horror film, and he would make his directorial debut with Three-Way Weekend in 1979. He would later direct Nine Deaths of the Ninja and the family film Three Little Ninjas, which would ultimately be his last film. New Year's Evil centers on a woman named Diane Sullivan, whose fans know her best as Blaze, the First Lady of Rock, and the host of Los Angeles-based music TV show Hollywood Hotline. Now, Blaze is played by actress Roz Kelly. Her most famous role was as Fonzie's girlfriend, Pinky Tuscadero, on Happy Days. Hollywood Hotline is apparently quite popular, given the fact that Blaze is going to be hosting a 4-hour live national broadcast of it on New Year's Eve, counting down the year's top new wave rock hits as midnight strikes in every time zone across the United States. As our film begins, Blaze is getting ready for the show, going over final details and wanting to speak to her publicist Yvonne. She calls her and finds out that Blaze's husband Richard is in Palm Springs getting loaded, and won't be there to support her show. Then, before the titles, we see her publicist Yvonne being murdered by an unknown killer. Now comes the earworm. This theme song will get stuck in your head. Trust me, it will. After the credits, we are introduced to Blaze's son Derek, who does show up to offer moral support to his mother, but quickly regrets it. Derek is played by Grant Kramer, most well known by horror film fans for Killer Clowns from Outer Space in 1988.
Where do they come from? Why are they here? Why clowns? You'll laugh your head off. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's Crazy! Rated PG-13.
Starts Friday, May 20th at a theater near you.
Blaze is so preoccupied that she completely ignores the good news Derek wants to share with her. Breakthrough news regarding his acting career. Derek becomes so hurt by his mother's aloof behavior that he stays in her hotel room and spirals down into madness while she hosts the show. He tries to call his father, but cannot reach him. So he pops some pills and begins to talk to himself about the suspicion that he may be mentally unstable himself.
I think I have a mental disorder. Now what do you think?
The Hollywood hotline begins, but unfortunately, despite all of the planning Blaze has done, there's one thing she didn't plan on. Soon after the broadcast starts, she takes a call from someone calling themselves Evil. Evil has a New Year's resolution he wants to share with Blaze.
Ballet's here. A crazy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you, Blaze.
Ooh, some kind of voice you got there. Sound like the Phantom.
You could call me that. Call me Evil.
Evil?
I'm going to commit murder at midnight.
Evil is played by Kip Niven. He has an impressive resume that includes such films as Magnum Force in 1973, Earthquake in 1974, and Midway in 1976. He performed on countless television shows, including memorable parts on The Waltons and Law & Order. Evil plans to commit murders during the night, claiming a life at the stroke of midnight in each time zone, building to the murder of Blaze at midnight on the West Coast. Now this is an unusual slasher, as it's Evil himself who gets most of the screen time. Movies usually didn't follow the killer as closely as this one does. We see all the steps he takes as he stalks North Hollywood for mostly random victims. Disguised as a male nurse and wielding champagne, he seduces a female nurse in record time, because on New Year's Eve, doesn't matter how long you know someone before hooking up with them. Ah, the 80s. Evil gets her into a private room so he can stab her to death at midnight, recording the audio as he does. Audio that he plays for Blaze during his next phone call.
I just made my first kill, right on schedule. Midnight, Eastern Standard Time. Listen to the replay.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year from New York City.
With the police involved, Lieutenant Clayton, played by actor Chris Wallace, of the cult film Don't Answer the Phone, is skeptical at first. That is until Evil calls back after midnight with the tape recording of the killing, as well as the location of the victim. Clayton knows that they have a limited window in which to catch the killer, so he seals off access to the show. Donning a leisure suit and a fake mustache, Evil seeks out his Central Time victim at a nightclub. He picks up Sally, and passing himself off as a business manager, Evil invites Sally to join him at a party at Eric Estrada's. Again, the 80s, when Eric Estrada was a household name. Now, people are like, who? Chips. Look it up. You'll know what it is. Sally brings her friend Lisa along as a chaperone, figuring she'd be safer that way. As the trio ride in Evil's car, they soon realize they're not going to Eric Estrada's, and Sally is killed at midnight, with Lisa dying soon after.
I think her diary is back.
Hey, you want to smoke a number?
Sure.
I got some great stuff here. Colombia. Here. Smell.
Next up is Mountain Time, and he sets out for his kill. Evil dresses up as a priest. It appears that he is planning on killing a nun. He has a picture of one, and he becomes so distracted by the picture while he's driving, he ends up plowing into the back of some bikers who have stopped at a red light. This derails his plans as the bikers start chasing him through the streets. Evil seeks refuge in a drive-in theater hosting a New Year's spookathon, 8 horror movies being shown between dusk and dawn. The bikers follow him, so he ditches his car, kills one of the bikers who confronts him, and steals another car, which has a teenage couple inside. The boy bails, but the teenage girl is trapped in the back seat as Evil speeds off into the night. The girl pleads for her life as Evil drives off towards an unknown destination. When he hits the brakes to avoid running over a couple of drunks who stumble into the road, the girl takes a chance and escapes. Evil pursues her through the park, but has to give up on the chase when he hears police approaching. The biker kill was too early to count. Evil's mission to kill someone at Mountain Midnight fails. His failure doesn't deter Evil from his ultimate goal of killing Blaze. Although she has been deeply disturbed by the calls, she has adopted a show-must-go-on mentality, brought on by the police support of saying to keep the show going so Evil will make the phone calls and they can probably figure out who it is. Security at the hotel is very tight, but Evil still manages to sneak into the building, bashing a cop on the head and stealing his uniform.
Hey, officer, can you give me a hand over here? I think I found a drunk.
Once inside, Evil drops the disguise and gains access to Blaze with his true identity. He is
Richard, you scared me. God.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
You see, Richard was a patient at Crawford Sanitarium and is now fed up with his wife and the mother of his child, fed up with the way Blaze behaves, the way she treats him and Derek, and the fact that he has to beg for an allowance. He feels castrated and fears that Blaze is doing the same to Derek, so he's going to kill her. And so you see, that is why we see the killer throughout the movie. The twist is his identity. So hopefully your New Year's will not be evil, and it will be a good one. But you have fun, stay safe, and join me again in the new year. I'm Gory G. Thank you for joining me in the crypt. Happy New Year, everyone.